Bledsoe was arrested.
Patrick Montgomery was in court.
Jonathan Manapa will stay in federal custody.
No, I don't take responsibility at all.
Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So 31-year-old New York resident Edward Rodriguez was interviewed on the West Lawn of the Capitol on January 6th. That interview was shared on Twitter. And in the interview, Rodriguez said, quote, "Here in America, we fight back. We will never surrender to dictatorship, corruption, communism, or socialism. We, the people, will never put up with their bullshit. Here in America, we fight back." He keeps repeating that phrase. He keeps using that phrase. I do not think it means what he thinks it means. Anyway, sometime later, Rodriguez was seen at the front of the police barricades leading a chant of "Fight for Trump." The crowd around Rodriguez attempted to push past the police, and they started to throw objects at them, and then they knocked down a large iron lamppost. It fell onto the police, and around that same time, Rodriguez tried to breach the police line, and he was seen aiming a can of bear spray at the police. He appears to have had some trouble deploying the spray, though, and in the interim, the officers sprayed the crowd. And so Rodriguez had to retreat a little bit, but then he came back, and then he was able to arm his can of bear spray, and he sprayed them. So Rodriguez held a "Stop the Steal" sign in front of his face when he was being sprayed. And so, like I said, he retreated. But a moment later, he came back, doused the police. He was about 3 to 5 feet away from the police line, they say, and he hit 3 officers directly, hit them directly in the face, in the eyes, and then approximately 5 other officers who were around them were affected by the overspray. So the officers who were sprayed or who were affected, they experienced varying levels of pain and other symptoms, including some had long-term physical and psychological trauma. They all, of course, experienced burning of the eyes and the skin. Some had temporary loss of vision. Some had swelling and blisters on their hands. And one of them said he felt like he was suffocating. He said, "It felt like my lungs just stopped working." And then most all of them experienced pain for several days because the chemicals can get reactivated when you take a shower or when you touch a piece of contaminated clothing. Some of them experienced PTSD. One officer left the police force completely because of the lasting effects. And Rodriguez, after spraying them, left. He left the area. He was still at the Capitol. He was still in DC, but he wasn't at the building itself. And he gave another interview on YouTube later that day. And he said, quote, "I was there, and I just want to let you know that we in America, we fight back. They were pepper spraying people, but the police got it back. Just know that we were here today because we stand for freedom." Rodriguez, as I said, reiterated these sentiments over and over again. He gave another interview. He said much the same thing. And he added, quote, "The most important thing is that we all remember why we were here today. It was not to cause problems. It's to make sure that people know that the government works for the people and the people does not work for the government. Therefore, I'm very happy I was here today. We made it all the way through, and they need to definitely consider the reason of why we're here. And I know they will because we will never give up." So Rodriguez was arrested on July 9th of 2021, and in a superseding indictment, he was charged with civil disorder, assaulting officers with a dangerous weapon and inflicting bodily injury, entering restricted grounds, 2 counts of disorderly conduct, and 2 counts of physical violence. Following his arrest, he agreed to an interview with the FBI, and he admitted that he was at the Capitol, but he described the violence as if he had nothing to do with it. Rodriguez told the agents, quote, "It was terrible. It was very confusing. It went from a peaceful rally to people trying to cause violence and confusion. It got very twisted. It just got turned. I saw someone throw a smoke bomb from our side. It looked very normal, but looking at it after, they were inciting violence. Then Rodriguez admits that he found a canister, and he said it was, quote, either pepper spray or bear spray. He said he found that on the ground. He claimed that he didn't read the can, so he wasn't sure what exactly it was. That seems to be bogus because he later looked on the internet. They found in his search history that he looked up, what does bear spray do to a human? And Rodriguez admitted that he used it against the police. And Rodriguez said that he did it to stop the police from spraying the crowd, but he conceded, quote, spraying a police officer, that's a crime. Yeah, thank you, Captain Obvious. But this isn't the first time he's been arrested for violence. Rodriguez was arrested on 3 separate occasions in 2015. One was for misdemeanor battery and petty theft. One was for weed, and then a third time was again for battery. However, in each of these instances, the prosecutor dropped the charges against him. No consequences. The following year, Rodriguez was arrested for violating a protection order that had been taken out by his former roommate. The roommate told the court that Rodriguez damaged some of his property, and then he was texting him, threatening him. He was threatening to harm him. Then in March of 2021, before his arrest for the Capitol attack, Rodriguez was captured on video confronting the owner of a gym. He apparently refused to wear a mask, and so he got into an argument with the gym owner, and he told the gym owner on video, people are recording this, and he's telling him, quote, you need to go back to China. That's what you need to do, okay? You need to go back to China. So he lost his job after that video circulated online, and Rodriguez pleaded guilty. He pleaded guilty to the assault charge in March of 2023. However, the dangerous weapon enhancement was dropped for some reason. So he was looking at up to 8 years in prison, 3 years of probation, and $250,000 in fines. This time, the prosecutor requested pretty close to the full sentence. They asked for 88 months in prison, 3 years of probation, and $2,000 in restitution. And at his sentencing hearing, Rodriguez told the judge he wasn't in a good place at the time of the Capitol attack. And he was, quote, spending too much time reading crazy stuff online, and that he became, quote, disconnected from reality. Rodriguez also said that he was embarrassed and, quote, I deeply regret my actions on January 6th. He also told the court that he now realizes that the officers only used pepper spray themselves because of how, quote, crazy and chaotic the crowd had gotten. Rodriguez then asked to apologize to the officers that he attacked. One female officer was the only one who agreed to hear him out. And after he apologized to her, she told Rodriguez that she still has nightmares and PTSD from what happened. And then she added, quote, I don't forget. I do forgive you, but it doesn't change what happened. So U.S. District Judge Dabney Friedrich presided over Rodriguez's case, and she said that his was, quote, truly one of the hardest January 6th sentences I've had. The reason being, she referenced something that wasn't disclosed in open court, but it was disclosed to her earlier in a sealed proceeding. And she mentioned something about him being in need of continued mental health treatment. The judge also noted that Rodriguez is, quote, easily manipulated. And for some reason, she said that Rodriguez believed that the many emails he was receiving from Trump's campaign, he thought they were personal invitations sent to him directly from Donald Trump. Like, he didn't realize they were mass mailings. Anyway, in the end, Rodriguez was sentenced to 3 years in prison and 3 years of probation. So there's definitely something off here. Obviously, something going on with this guy. Like I said, he kept repeating the same phrases over and over again. And clearly the judge knows something that she couldn't disclose in court. I don't know what to make of this one, right? Under these circumstances, I don't know if this was too lenient or not. You know, maybe he needs other help that he's not going to get in prison. And that's a sad state of affairs for our country, that we can't help people in the right way and help to make them productive members of society. You know, if we had Medicare for all, if we had a universal health care plan, maybe things would be different. But no, we've got to spend our money on wars and bailing out corporations instead. So there you go. All right. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please donate if you can. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.